Okay, this is week 6. We're going to take a look at a method for factoring called factoring by grouping. And what will usually clue you in that you need to employ grouping is you will have 4 terms. And remember, terms are always separated by a plus or a minus. So here are the 4 terms. I have 2x cubed as the first term, x squared is my second term, 2x is my third term, and then I have 1 as my fourth term. So what do we do with these 4 terms? Since I'm going to use factoring by grouping, what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these first 2 terms together, and then I'm going to group the second 2 terms together. And then I'm going to take a look at each of those groups individually. So when I look at this first group here, the 2x cubed plus x squared, the question is, what is the GCF for these first 2 terms? Well, notice that I can take out an x squared because x cubed does have an x squared built into it. For example, x cubed is technically just x squared times x. So even though it's not explicitly stated, we do know that there is an x squared hiding inside of this term here. As a result of that, I can factor x squared out of the first 2 terms, and that leaves me 2x plus 1 left over. And let's check and see that we did that correctly. If I factor out an x squared, and then I just distribute the x squared back across, I have x squared times 2x, which is 2x cubed. Then I have x squared times 1, which is x squared. That's just a good way to check to make sure that we did take out the GCF and that when you multiply, you do go back to the original part of the problem. Now, if we look at the second group here, the 2x plus 1, there's really nothing I can factor out other than positive 1. And that's exactly what they did here. They took out a positive 1. And then what was left over is 2x plus 1. Let's check that. 1 times 2x is 2x. That checks. Then I have a 1 times positive 1, which is positive 1. Let me clear some of this out, change colors here for emphasis. Notice that I now have 2 terms instead of 4. This is the first term here, and this is the second term here. And if you look at the 2 terms, they both have a common factor, and that factor is 2x plus 1. So we will pull out the 2x plus 1, and what we have left over is x squared plus 1, and that is going to be the other factor. So we have now completely factored 2x cubed plus x squared plus 2x plus 1. And again, the main thing that will clue you in that you will have to factor by grouping is that you will have, in most situations at this level, we will have 4 terms. You can certainly factor if you have more than 4 terms, but for us, the biggest clue is going to be the 4 terms.